Hi everybody. Lately we have quite a fair bit of negative news on the China stocks market, and we have seen the tech stocks come crashing down. And if you look at the Shanghai Composite Index and the Shenzhen Composite Index, they have went to a roller coaster ride for this year, and as of now, August, it is still flat. And compared to the Hang Seng Index, which is actually also down about more than 3%. And this is in a complete contrast compared to the US market. So is this an opportunity to buy China stocks now? And when you want to buy China stocks, you may not sure that what China stocks you want to buy. So today I'm going to talk about what are the various China ETF available for you to make a decision on what China ETF you may want to invest in. Before I talk about ETF, I just want to share with you the various China equity market share class, okay, which can be quite confusing for some of the investors. Okay, first we want to talk about is called the iShares. Okay, iShares are China company listed in China, okay, and incorporated in China. They are listed in the Shenzhen and Shanghai Stocks Exchange, and these shares are available for the China investor. As a foreign investor, we can only invest certain selected stocks on the A share through the Stock Connect program. Okay. Then the next one is the B share. B share are China company listed in China, Shanghai or Shenzhen Stock Exchange, and is available for foreigners. Okay, and it is mainly in Shanghai. Their traded currency are in US dollar, and in Shenzhen, their traded currency is in Hong Kong dollar. And it is not actually open to the China investor unless they got the foreign currency dealing account. Okay, and HKEX share is China company incorporated in China and listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Okay, for example, like Tencent. And N share is China company not incorporated in China but listed in US. Okay, so these are the various share class. We got A share, B share, HKEX shares, and N shares. On top of that, then we got the next one we call the red chips. Red chips are China company not incorporated in China and listed in Hong Kong, and they are usually mainly state-owned entities. Then we got a P chip, a private company, China company not incorporated in China and listed in Hong Kong. And we got the S chip, which is China company mainly incorporated in Singapore and listed in Singapore Stock Exchange. And lastly, we got the ADRs. Okay, ADRs are China company that is not even incorporated in US but listed in US. The famous ADR everyone know is called like Baidu, Neo, Alibaba, that is traded in US exchange. They are actually the ADRs. So these are the various equity share class for the China market. Okay, now let's talk about China ETF. Today I'm going to talk about the China ETF. I'll talk about a broad market ETF. That means it encompass all industry. Will not be sector focused. You want to know about the Hang Seng Tech ETF, you can look for my another video that I just have a special video on top of Hang Seng Tech ETF. So these are some of the selected China ETF where I just zoom into mainly they are listed in Hong Kong or Singapore. As we are investing in China, I personally prefer to invest in the same time zone as what we are in Singapore, and I classify them based on the AUM. Okay, so I list out the top 5 AUM China ETF that is listed in Hong Kong, and of course there's 3 China ETF that's listed in SGX, and we can see some of them are SIP and some of them are EIP, and the 3 China ETF that's listed in Singapore are all SRS approved. Let me talk about the various index, okay, and the corresponding ETF. Okay, first is called the MSCI China Index. Okay, this MSCI China Index, if you would like to buy China company, you want to buy in big bulk. For example, MSCI China Index comprised of more than 700 China companies that are listed in China, listed in Hong Kong, listed in US. Okay, so it comprises of the A share, H share, B share, red chip, P chip, and on the various ADR. So it's a very broad base. Okay, it covers actually encompasses about 85% of the China equity universe. So it mainly on the large cap and mid cap. So it is practically you're buying almost the whole China market. If you want to buy MSCI China Index. And from there you can see this is the top 10 holding. Okay, for as of 30th of July, you can see Alibaba, Tencent, Meituan. Actually, the top 3 holding are the tech company, and actually Alibaba and Tencent comprise of close to 1/4 of these 700 over companies. And what is their corresponding ETF we are looking at? It is called the iShares, called MSCI China ETF, that is listed in Hong Kong Exchange. And you want to access it to Singapore Exchange, which is called the Xtrackers MSCI China UCITS ETF. Okay, this is listed in Singapore. So if I want to have the exposure to the whole universe of China stocks listed globally, and then MSCI China Index related ETF is the one that you should look out for. Next, we zoom down further, and lately we have this Seng Stock Connect China 80 Index. Okay, what is this index about? This talk about 80 largest China company that is listed in Hong Kong or China, but it is only eligible for those that are on the northbound and southbound trading side. So these are the top 80 companies. Okay, and do take note, this is talk about company listed in Hong Kong and China. So you will exclude company that is listed in US, including those that have ADRs. For example, it don't have Alibaba, okay, it don't have Baidu, and you don't have Neo. So this is something you need to take note when you want to buy this ETF. And with this, there's a new launch ETF on this. It is called the Lion-OCBC Securities China Leader ETF. However, this ETF is pretty new. It's just newly launched. So we don't even have much detail on the AUM on this ETF. Okay. Next, it's called the CSI 300 Index. This is talk about the China stocks listed only on Shanghai and the Shenzhen Stocks Exchange. So what does it mean? That means it excludes stocks that's listed in Hong Kong and listed in US or even Singapore. So you just want to buy an index that's just focused on China market directly. Okay, that means it's directly in Hong Kong and Shenzhen. Then this is the CSI China Index 300 Index you can look at for. And you can see from the top holding, you can see it's called Guizhou Maotai is the top holding, followed by China Merchant Bank, Ping An Insurance, okay, Wuliangye. So this is the top few companies, and you hardly see any really tech stocks in the top 10 holding. The biggest AUM for this CSI China Index ETF is called the ChinaAMC CSI 300 Index ETF. We zoom in further because you say that 300 company may be a bit too big. So you can zoom further to look at FTSE China A50 Index. This is same thing, but it only focuses on the top 50 stocks in Shanghai and Shenzhen market. Okay, so it's called the FTSE China A50 Index, and from there you can see the top 4 actually is the same as the CSI 300, where I have the Guizhou Maotai, China Merchant Bank, Ping An Insurance, and Wuliangye, and the top 5 actually contribute about 36.82% already. And just now it's 300, now it's only 50 companies, and these are the top 50 companies. You can see from the screen, all they're listed in Shanghai and Shenzhen. And iShares FTSE China A50 ETF and the CSOP FTSE China ETF are the 2 ETF that have the biggest AUM listed in Hong Kong market, that if you want to access to the China A50 Index. Next, we zoom in further, we call the Shanghai Composite Index. Okay, we know that China got the Shenzhen market, Shenzhen Exchange, and also the Shanghai Exchange, right? So if you just want to buy about on the top 50 company on the Shanghai Index, then we got this United SSE 50 China ETF. This is an ETF that's listed in HKEX, when allow you to access to the top 50 company that's listed in the Shanghai Exchange only. So this is even more narrow. It only go to the Shanghai Exchange. What about Hong Kong? If you want to buy China stock that's only listed in Hong Kong, then we got this Hang Seng China Enterprise Index. This is talk about China company that are listed in Hong Kong. So you exclude like Guizhou Maotai, Wuliangye, okay, the type of company that's listed in Shanghai and Shenzhen market, and they comprise of 50 companies, okay, that's listed in Hong Kong, and they have an 8% cap per holding. And this is what they are, and you can see that more than 30% of them are actually under the IT sector. And if you that Seng China Enterprise Index is the ETF that mirror this index. Okay. This is just a summary of all the selected China ETF on a general market base. So it boils out to personal preference. If you are looking at to invest the whole universe of China equities, then you may want to look at iShares called MSCI China ETF or that is listed in Hong Kong, or the Xtrackers MSCI China ETF that is listed in Singapore, which actually mirror the MSCI China Index. Okay. If you want only to focus on China market, that's exclude the Hong Kong, exclude the US, just only focus on the Shenzhen or on the Shanghai market, then you may want to look at CSI 300 Index or the FTSE China A50 Index. Okay. If you just want to focus on Shanghai Index, Shanghai stocks directly, then you may want to look at the United SSE 50 China Index. Okay. And the next, you want to look at Hong Kong, then you can look at the Seng China Enterprise Index. And what happens if you say that you want Hong Kong, you want Shanghai, you want Shenzhen, then you can look at the latest one, which is the Lion-OCBC Securities China Leader ETF, where I actually invest in the top 80 China company that's listed in China and also in Hong Kong. Okay. However, do remember some of the ETF are SIP and some of the ETF are EIP. Okay, so for EIP, anyone can just invest it when they have a brokerage account. For SIP, you need to pass the CKA and the CAR. And the 3 China ETF that's listed on HKEX, okay, they are all SRS approved. However, you need to take note of the AUM size. In general, the ETF that's China ETF that's listed in Singapore, the AUM size is very much smaller compared to the ETF China ETF that's listed in the Hong Kong exchange. That's all I have to share with you today. If you feel that this video have benefit you, do remember to like and share this video, and also that do remember to subscribe and press the bell button so that you'll be notified on the next video. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.